Hello everyone, it's Wezi here, back with another video. So, if you're an immigrant, I would like us to have a chat, or I'd like to hear your thoughts as well on answering this question. Should you invest your money in the country that you live in, or maybe you should invest your money back home? Now, let's say you come from Africa and you stay in Canada, you stay in America, you stay in Europe or Asia or Australia, wherever you stay. The question is, should you invest the money that you're making in the country that you are residing in, or maybe you should invest this money back home? Now, I know to other people, maybe this is just a no-brainer. They have like everything sorted out, but I know that other people tend to think like, where should I invest the moment they relocate? Like, should I be investing back home, or maybe I should be investing in the country that I am living in? Now, today I want to talk about this, and pretty much this is just me trying to share my thoughts on what I think on this. And I'd like to hear from yourself as well. If you stay outside your home country, I'd like to know to say, what do you do with your money in terms of investments, not how you use your money, but just in terms of investments. It could be either buying stocks, it could be property, it could be maybe a business or any type of investment, or even retirement planning as an investment. That one, but it could be whatever we can call it. No, whatever. No, it's not investment, but anyway, even retirement planning. But let's talk about the investment anyway, guys. So, if just the investment, like, what are your thoughts? Do you think you should invest in the country that you live in, or maybe you should invest back home? Now, there are a lot of factors that need to be considered when one is making this decision. Now, let me share what I think, right? So, if you have relocated from your home country, let's say to the UK, let's say you come from Malawi, or let's say you come from Zambia, you come from Zimbabwe, you come from Tanzania, you have relocated to the UK. I think there are a few things that you need to consider before you even start thinking of investing, right? So, the first thing is the consideration of how long you intend to stay in the new country. Now, this one is bound to change. Now, what normally happens is when you're leaving your country, most of the times you're like, you know what, I just want to go to the UK. I'll stay there for 5 years and then I'll be back. That's what many people say, right? Like, I'm giving myself 3 years. In 3 years, I just want to do a little bit, two, three things, and then I'll be back, right? But let's be honest, what normally happens is when you get to this side of the world, you get to experience something that is different. Now, what happens is initially, when you were leaving your country, you thought, oh, I'll be earning in British pounds. For example, I'll be earning £2,000 each month. Now, you equate that to your local currency, you realize that's like, let's say in Malawi, that's like maybe around, let me just say, maybe 5 million Malawi kwacha. Now, you start thinking, wow, this is a whole lot of money. So if I'm making 5 million Malawi kwacha there, I'll be sending a 2 million Malawi kwacha every single month. Then I'll be able to build houses or whatever. That's that's what you tend to think, right? Before you leave. Now, you come into this country, you start earning the money here. You come to a sudden realization that most of the money that you're making here ends here, right? So if you're earning £2,000, you find out, let me give an example. You may find yourself paying, let's say, £800 for rent. So you only have 1.2 left. Then you have to pay, let me just give an example, maybe 120 or £100 for council tax and gas and electricity. Let me just say the bills, the basic bills, let's just say 1,000. Now you only have another 1,000 left, right? So let's say you need to buy food for yourself or maybe or your family. You have, let's say you buy food for what, 300 or £400 in a month. Cool. It means you have like what, maybe around 600 left. Then let's say you buy a few things just for basic survival, transportation, or maybe you have a car, or just a basic. You find that you have spent another, maybe let's say another £300. You find yourself only left with, let's say, £200 to your name, like in a month. Now the thing is, you had plans to say, you know what, I'll be sending maybe 1 million, 2 million Malawi kwacha back home. Now you get to the sudden realization that the only money that you have left in your bank account that you can send to Malawi is not even close to a million. So what should you do? Should you still think of investing back home, or maybe you should now just rethink or re-strategize and then save here? Now that's the first thing that you may want to consider. The second thing to consider is, what type of investment vehicle are you thinking of? Now, what I mean by this is, how do you want to invest your money? Is it in stocks? Is it in property? Is it in a certain business? Is it whatever investment vehicle you want to use? You should kind of like look at the pros as well as the cons. Now, what I mean by this is, If you come in the UK and you want to start buying stocks, cool, well and good. You can do it online. That's cool. But you have to start thinking to say, how much can I be spending in buying stocks here in the UK, right? The same way you can say, you know what, maybe I should be buying stocks back home in Malawi. Maybe it will be of higher value. You should also think to say, will I be able to make more money in Malawi sending this money back home in stocks, or maybe I can make this money much here in the UK. You may start to think of things like that. Now, another thing that you may want to think of is property. Now, if you want to get property in the UK, I'll be honest to say, you either have to get a deposit of a property, because most of the times the properties here, let me just give an example to say, they may range from 250,000, like a proper house, maybe 2 or 3 bedrooms. They may range from 250,000 pounds to, let's say, 400,000 pounds. Now, it depends on the area, right? But this is just for illustration purposes. So you need to save at least 10% of the total value. Now, let's say you want to get a house for 250,000. It means you need to save 25,000 pounds. Now, that's the actual deposit, but there are other costs as well that are involved. Now, what I'm talking about here is getting a mortgage. I'm not talking about like outright purchase, right? Because for you to save money up until you get 250, maybe if you win the lottery, cool, or if you win a certain competition, cool. But now I'm just talking about people that are living basic lives and maybe they don't have a business, they're just doing 9 to 5. It will take time for you to save 250. Now, if you think of property back home, maybe that would be a good idea, or maybe that would be something that would work. Now, in which sense? Now, this would work in this sense to say, let's say you have, let's say, 300 pounds, the one that I talked about earlier. If you send it back home, maybe that would be, it wouldn't be a lot of money. But if you do it consistently, you may be able to save a lot of money back home and you can be able to build a house, maybe even in a short space of time. Because the mortgage, normally you get it, maybe you have to pay it for 15 to 20 or 25 or even 30 years, right? So for you to pay back the 250,000 pounds, now let me put it this way, I'm saying paying back, but you own the house, it's your house, but you still have to pay that amount, right? So it's really tricky when you think of it to say, okay, should you invest here or maybe you should invest back home? But now what I'd say is the key determining factor would be where you want to retire.